Welcome back. This is Greg Rand on Real Estate on 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. We got lots of calls on hold and only a few minutes to get to them, so I'm going to kind of go rapid fire here. But we have some people who have some questions. Is it Manya from Springfield, New Jersey?
Hi, how are you?
How do you pronounce your name?
Manya.
Manya.
Just like Tanya, but with an M.
Got it. Okay, cool. So what's on your mind?
My husband and I have a two-family, rental property investment. We also have our single-family home. We have a lot of equity in the home, and we're just debating should we sell it. No one wants to give us the refi and pull money out.
Okay. So what would you do with the money if you pulled it out?
Buy more.
Real estate
so
with
many.
it.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you, I love 2 families, 3 families, and 4 families in a big way. And the reason is that the home building industry stopped building them 15 years ago, right? The whole home building industry got obsessed with luxury single-family homes for a good decade. And the research shows that there's a massive shortage of particularly 2-family houses out there. And so what that tells me is that there's going to be demand. A 2-family house, did you guys start by living there and then moved out?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
That is like the smartest thing in the world to do for a young couple, to buy a 2-family house, let your tenant next door pay most of the mortgage down, and then when you move on to a bigger place, keep it, because it's much easier. Like in the New York area, the best way to generate a positive cash flow is to own a 2 or 3 family, because you have 2 or 3 people paying rents, which generally will give you more rents than you could in the same number of square feet in a single-family home. But the lenders, I'm glad you asked this, because the lenders are being real silly when it comes to the multifamily or when it comes to the investor market these days. They're disadvantaging experienced investors, meaning there's a whole bunch of regulations on the books that make it difficult for you to be able to refinance. For example, you won't be able to use the income to help qualify for the mortgage. So you have to you got to qualify for the mortgage on your income from your jobs, and you can't use the rent that you could have 2 tenants in there with 10-year leases, and the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac backed lenders will then allow you to use that income to qualify for a refinance. So it is a pain in the neck. If you pull the money out, you'd incur some costs on the way out, like we said in the last segment. And if you're going to put it back into real estate again, you can leverage more real estate. You can buy more property. Here's the question that I would make sure I would answer for yourself before you made a decision. Make sure you can get a mortgage on the properties that you want to buy, because some of the same restrictions that are keeping you from getting cash out of your existing property, those same restrictions might keep you from putting that money into another property and getting a mortgage on the next ones, which means you'd be coming out of a good investment and then having a hard time getting back into another good investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So do you, just as a suggestion, the foreclosures, like there's certain really big websites that have a lot of stuff going up for auction, and you can get into multifamilies, not necessarily in this state, because we'd like to move out of this state, that are really good buys. I actually have so much liquid I could possibly own them for cash, whereas the house I'm in now, we have another 20 years to go.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point you make. When you come out of the New York area, the price points take a nosedive. You go to places in Florida, for example. You could buy a single-family home in Jacksonville, Florida, for $75,000 and rent it out for a 10 or 12 or 13% profit just on the rent. Forget about the appreciation in the market as time goes on. And so, if you're paying cash where you're going, that would eliminate, obviously, the worry about not being able to get a mortgage. I guess my advice, without knowing you personally, my advice is just make sure that your money, if you like real estate, you've got good results with it so far. Having a lot of equity in property is I'm sure you go to bed at night feeling pretty good about the fact that you've got solid equity in real estate, which nobody can take away. You just don't want to find yourself in a place where now you've got liquid cash and you can't put it to work for you. But I love the idea of leaving the New Jersey area with some of that money and putting it in other places around the country, because the industry of property management is rapidly getting up to speed to be able to help you in a very, very efficient way. Like so efficient, like your iPhone will buzz when they replace a light bulb. Like really, really good, tight property management and communication. So, Manya, I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for the call.